What's going on, y'all? Today I'm finna break down exactly why the Mavs are going to beat the Celtics in the NBA Finals in 6 games. But yeah, so when we look at the teams that the Celtics went through, we look at the teams that Mavs went through, and first thing I want to address is a lot of people talk about how the Celtics had a quote-unquote easy path to the finals, this, that, and the third. And to be honest, yeah, they had a lot of injuries on their run. They lost Porzingis, but them losing Porzingis is not nearly as impactful as the Heat not having Jimmy, not having Tommy Hawkins Jr., and then the Cavs not having Jared Allen, and then losing Donovan Mitchell in the middle of the series. Pacers, obviously, Tyrese Halliburton going in injured. So yeah, just the injuries weren't really comparable, but you know, it is what it is. When you look at the Celtics, you say, okay, the Celtics dominated East and West teams in the regular season, but can they do it in the playoffs? They're supposed to be this great team, They did what they were quote unquote supposed to do. So it's like, you can't discredit them for doing what they were quote unquote supposed to do. They beat them in dominating fashion. And yeah, you can say, oh, they were supposed to sweep every team, which how many times in NBA history has that actually happened? And number two, one of the games they lost was literally just the Heat shot their best percentage ever from three playoff game. So they, at the end of the day, they did what they were supposed to do. They got to where they are for a reason. You could see it on the court. You could see it in the stat sheet. You could see it on the records. Mavs, on the other hand, I see a lot of people on the other hand who they were trying to basically say, oh yeah, actually it's the Mavs who had an easy path because the Clippers, Kawhi was hurt or whatever, and then the Thunder are frauds because they're a young team, which I already attacked that argument in a different video, but it's just a dumb argument. And then the Timberwolves, they lost to the, I don't even know what the Timberwolves argument was. The Timberwolves argument was actually crazy stupid. It was, oh, the fake DPOY and Ant was playing bad, It's just so yucky with how delusional Celtics fans saw that tax they were getting and tried to switch it up. But either way, both teams did what they had to do to get to the finals. In my opinion, the Mavs had a harder path just because of health, but that doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, we're here now. So who's gonna win the finals? Who y'all think is a better team? And the thing about these two teams is that makes this very interesting, is that they match up against each other really well. Like they both have some size on their wings. In terms of having those defensive guards, you got Drew Holiday, you got Derek White, you do have Jayson Tatum, you know, bigger guys on the defensive end, as opposed to a Shea, for example, is thinner frame, but you have like Drew Holiday, stronger frame. Porzingis and Al Horford on there, and then you have Lively and Gafford. I don't really think they have anything for Kyrie, to be honest. But at the same time, you can say, oh, what do they have for Jaylen Brown, right? What do they have for the conference finals MVP, Jaylen Brown, right? So yeah, I think they match up against each other well, but it's two reasons, I think, actually 3 reasons, or is it 2? I think that's 2 reasons why I think that Mavs are gonna win. Number one, from the coaching standpoint, I feel like Kid versus Missoula is kind of a mid-off, but the thing about Missoula is that I feel like the Celtics are too reliant on threes, especially Jayson Tatum. They're too reliant on threes, and I think that can come back to bite them. Even though they have a dynamic offense, I feel like that could come back to bite them against a team like the Mavs, and the Mavs defense, who, like, I think in the playoffs, they're like the #1 defense. Also, I feel like the Mavs as a team are more equipped to defend like Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, versus on the other side, defending Luka and Kyrie. Luka is finna cook. You saw how Jimmy Butler be treating Drew Holiday. I feel like Luka will literally be that times. Like he will disrespect that man Drew Holiday. He's gonna cook Derek White. The Celtics, they're gonna be able to guard the team, but I feel like they're less equipped to stop Luka from shooting the ball than some other teams. Even though, yes, they're a great defense, they have all these defensive players, but I feel like I don't know, I just feel like they're gonna be less equipped to just like say, all right, Luka, you are not gonna shoot the ball this possession. But at the end of the day, it does kind of depend on, this is assuming the star players play average. They could play above average, they could play below average. I think it's gonna come down to everyone else. So, and I think that on the everyone else standpoint, basically what I'm trying to say is I feel like the probability of somebody having a stinker on the Mavericks is probably higher, but the average impact of said stinker like is probably lower. Like if somebody has a stinker, it probably has less of an effect on the team losing as opposed to someone having a stinker on the Celtics. Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense. But yeah, I feel like on the depth side, I just feel like that offensive depth is gonna be more so, it's gonna lean more so towards the Mavs, especially with how Luka just tears into defenses, with how Kyrie tears into defenses. I feel like that their offensive depth is really gonna show out. You could say, all right, yeah, Luka's just gonna go crazy, Kyrie's just gonna go crazy, or on the other side, Jayson Tatum's gonna go crazy, Jaylen Brown's gonna go crazy, Derek White's gonna go crazy. But I think it's really gonna come down to, because I mean, yeah, if either one of those goes crazy, yeah, it could happen. But I feel like that's not something you can just predict. You feel me? I think it's gonna come down to the role players, and I think that offensive depth because with the Celtics, it's just like, okay, that starting 6-7 is just like boom, boom, boom. But I feel like you're gonna feel that offensive depth more. You're gonna feel that, like, those contributions from people off the bench and those key contributions in the clutch moments. I feel like it's going to lean more towards the Mavs. I think it's going to be a tough series though, and I will say the Mavs win in 6 games. That's just what I think about it. But let me know what y'all think about the Mavs versus Celtics series. Let me know if you agree, disagree, and if I was spitting, if I was seeing a bunch of nonsense. And yeah, subscribe.